Hello, good evening, Noswaitha, welcome back, Chrysler, back to the channel. Here we are, back on Puzzle Combat, looking at the watchtower, which is something I've been asked to do a video about. But just before I do that, let me just quickly collect my flame bombs, 5 of them. That's a Path of Valor objective. So there's a few more points there, that's always good. Been manufacturing guns, and I've got a 3-star, of course. I could potentially, occasionally get a 5-star. Still haven't got a 5-star yellow gun, actually, in fairness, after however many years I've been playing this game. Other stuff is just sort of ticking on around my base as ever. But today we're going to be focusing mainly, or pretty much entirely, on the watchtower. So here it is, the watchtower, this rather inoffensive building that's tucked away in the corner of my base. So let's see, we click on the question mark. It explains a little bit what it does. It says the watchtower stores resources collected from outposts. Capture more outposts to increase the production rate. The storage capacity is only used by the watchtower. So what does that all mean? Well, let's have a look at it again. Outposts. Well, let's start off with what are outposts. So if you go into there's no outposts on Season 2. And there's no outposts, I believe, on Veteran. Oh, no, they are marked on... Oh, sorry, this is on Normal. I don't think they're shown on Veteran. No. So they're only shown on Regular, which means there is a limit of 22 outposts is the most you can get. And the outposts, actually, is less than that, because Level 1 doesn't have them. Oh, there's a Level 2. Those are like the training ones. The first outpost that appears is on Level 3. So here we are. It's Area 3, so that means there's 20 outposts that you can collect. And the outposts are the raids you have to do at the end of the Season 1 missions. So it says the owner of the outpost gains resources produced in this area. The owner is me. The watchtower in your base will store all income from your outposts. So what happens is all of the food, all the outposts produce is food and iron. So every level, every one of these that you possess produces food and iron, and the food and iron is sent to your watchtower where it is stored. So if you have obviously if you've completed Season 1, you've got 20 outposts. Let's say, for example, each one produces 100 food an hour. So therefore you would get 2,000 food every hour, 2,000 iron every hour. See, I can do maths. Woo, look at me. Anyway, the outpost is where these resources are stored. So, like in the same way as my farm, if I click on this farm, if I go into more, it says storage capacity 94,000, production per hour 4696. But if I click on it, it will produce a tiny amount of food, even though I've only just collected from it. I can keep, because it stores a certain amount of food for a certain length of time. Then you have to move it up to your central stockpile, which is what's shown up here at the top of the screen. Now with the stockpile, the outposts, all the food and iron they produce gets sent here. And every time you upgrade your outpost, the production rate of each of the... every time you upgrade your watchtower, the production rate of all of your outposts increase. So my watchtower is at maximum, so I've got 20 outposts and a level 20 watchtower, which means, I don't know, does it say the production per hour, therefore, is building level 20 is 13,000, 7,234, and then it's 20 outposts, so that times those totals by 20, I think. So that means that I'm producing a lot of food every hour, basically, a lot of food and iron every hour. Now, the food and iron that I get is stored in here. It is stored in my watchtower, unless I click collect and move it up into my main storage areas, which are up here. Now, anything that is in my watchtower can be taken by another player in a raid. Now, first things is there's no point getting hugely stressed out about this, because it's only food and iron. Food and iron, by the stage I'm at, I don't really panic about it. Even in the early stages of the game when you need it more, you're never going to lose that much, because you can see the watchtower capacity for food is 184,000 and 86,000 iron. Now, obviously, 184,000 food sounds like a lot until you consider I can store 1,992,000 in total at the top there, and I haven't even maxed out several of my food storage places. There's food storages down here, but I've only maxed out one food storage. So, you know, it's a small percentage of how much food I can store overall, something like 5%. And most of the time, you know, you then transfer it up to here. But whilst it's sitting in your watchtower, you can lose it in a raid. So if I go into raids, don't want tournaments, sorry, just regular raids. If I click on a regular raid, so this guy, who we got, LG, Les Tireurs d'Elite, which I'm pretty sure is German. So this German player has got in their watchtower 12,000 food, 8,425 iron. So I can go in and fight them. Boom, 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 boom. Probably should have changed my team because I've got really didn't plan on this, but I looked at it and thought, all right, it'll be fine. And now I'm probably beginning to think maybe it won't. But never mind. Let's not panic yet. So let's see. Zut alors! It is not going well against this player, LG. Tiles flying around. Now that'll take this guy down. Obviously, they're quite a bit lower than me. I haven't been doing so many raids recently. It's just a time-consuming thing more than anything else. It's one thing I will say about War Z and Puzzles, which is another game I'm playing, is you can do raids on automatic, which is quite nice sometimes. I mean, obviously the chances of losing are dramatically increased, but it just means you can, go on with it whilst doing other things, which is, there we are, I lost a hero, I probably didn't need to, but I wasn't in first. So there we are. So now, in their watchtower, they previously had 12,000 food and 8,425 metal. Now, they have none of that, because it all belongs to me. All of your bases belong to us. So I've taken all their food and iron, and their watchtower will now be empty. Whereas that food and iron will have gone straight into my stockpiles up the top there. So if somebody were to raid me now, they would get 1,420 food and 739 iron. So it's almost like, if you're going to raid me, you're not raiding me for resources. But then most people don't raid for resources anyway. You raid for the trophies and to move up the leaderboard and everything else. So at the moment, if somebody raided me, they would get basically nothing, next to nothing. Now, obviously, my watchtower will fill up over time, and then if they raid me when it's full, they get more food and more iron. But as I say, I'm not that fussed because it's an easily replaced resource. So that's the watchtower. I hope that all made some kind of sense. So it's worth, especially if you are very short of food and iron, is empty it as regularly as you can, because if you've emptied it, even if somebody else raids you, they're not going to get much food and iron. They're just going to get they get the kudos of the raid and the trophies and everything else, but they don't get your food and iron. Your food and iron will be safe in your stockpile where nobody can touch it. Like I say, never worries me too much losing food and iron. It's not like I'm losing promotion materials or anything like that, which would be really, really annoying if you were losing them all the time. It's only food and iron, and it's easy to replace on this game. The other plus side of the watchtower, which I should mention, is if you're early on in the game and you're sort of building up your number of outposts you're taking over, and you do need food and iron more, it's worth upgrading. And one of the big plus sides of the watchtower is the upgrade cost for it is done in food, not iron. So my priority was always my stronghold, my headquarters, my training camps, and that meant also doing iron storage, and it meant doing a bit of everything. Most of the buildings you need to upgrade with iron or metal. Sorry, I was constantly running out of metal. And when you're running out of metal, you often don't want to level up a weak building you don't particularly want to use, because that's just going to slow down the rate at which you get metal. The beauty of the watchtower is it requires food to upgrade it, which means that when you're in a hurry to build lots and lots of buildings, you can upgrade that whilst just saving up the iron to do the metal to do the other buildings. So it doesn't matter too much. But that's how I found it went. My watchtower, it'd be like, I've got nearly no metal, and I want to upgrade my headquarters, so I've got to save up until I've got maximum amount of metal. So whilst I'm doing that, I will upgrade the only buildings which don't require metal, and that is the watchtower and the foundries, I believe they're called in this. They're mines on some games, but this one, they're foundries. Once they're upgraded, boom. I can see how my metal's going. I've got enough metal now, and then I'll upgrade to something like my headquarters or training schools or whatever else I need to do. But it does mean that I can sort of target where I'm going. Anyway, that's it. That's the watchtower. So, like I say, once you own it, there is one other thing you can do, and that is it will also show you your raid log. So I can look at this and I can go, slag, you have attacked me. And now I will go after Slag to teach them that you do not mess with Farmer Ben. Well, that's the idea. To be honest with you, like I say, because I rarely do raids, I rarely revenge them The plus side of doing a revenge raid is you can't revenge a revenge. So once I've raided Slag, Slag can then not attack me back. So whether I win or lose this one, it doesn't matter. Slag cannot avenge his revenge. So I can, in some ways I can reclaim the resources that Slag took from me. That said, I might well lose this raid the way this is going. Deary me. This is one of those raids I should be just sort of whomping all over him, but clearly am not. So now, once I've done this, you can see tiles going off everywhere. It's not going well. Really not going well. It just shows the difference boards can make. Because this should have been a fairly easy raid because I have several fully leveled 5 stars and he has far less. But there we are. There we go. Well done, you Slag. You did very well. Sorry, this is a UK term. I imagine it's applied in other parts of the world, but certainly it's a UK term. It's not particularly polite. Hopefully it won't get me demonetised on YouTube. I don't think it's that impolite. Mind you, then again, I don't know how you get demonetised for swearing on YouTube, because I listen to some of the stuff my son watches and they're all effing and jeffing like mad. And then I have to say, no, turn it off. You're not old enough to listen to that. It's just shocking. But to be fair, he has actually got pretty good at looking for people who don't swear constantly, because of the number of times I've told him to turn his stuff off. I guess it's a hard life being young. There we go. Right, finally it's coming together, or maybe is it? Boom, 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 boom. You think I'm the worst parent ever now. The things I find my son watching, and then should I? Oh, I don't know. Who knows? They're not horrific. It's just players swearing on Fortnite and things. Anyway, there we are. So now you'll see that in the log will appear Slag, my revenge 2 minutes ago, and there's no way that Slag can get me back because I've revenged him. He cannot now revenge me. So I now safely have the resources, which I don't know how much he took from me. Here we are. Yeah, so he took from me. You can see my tower must have been reasonably full because he took 43,000 iron, 43,000 metal, 92,000 food. And I've regained only 16,000 food and 3,000 odd metal. So in terms of resources, he's come out of it much better than me. Also, in terms of trophies, in fairness, he's got more. But again, these are two things I'm not hugely fussed about. And there we go. So I hope that makes sense and sort of sums up what the watchtower does, what it's for, its advantages and disadvantages. It is a good, a good source of food and iron, but you do need to remember to, if you're worried about your food and iron, remember to empty it regularly and focus on having a good, strong defence team that will at least put some players off. Though in fairness, a lot of players, certainly I don't really look at the food and iron or anything else, or the defence team all that much. I just look for the colour of the tank and then go for it. So there we go. I hope there was something useful in that video for everybody. I will be putting this one on as one of my beginner's guides puzzle combat series. And yeah, there we go. So if there was something useful in there, please do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If there are other aspects of the games that you're not, you'd like more information on, then by all means put a comment in the video thing at the bottom. And it just remains for me to say, I won't say, one of the terms that really annoys me is smash that like button. Just press it. Just press it. It's not touch sensitive. Keep saying this. If you would like to like and subscribe, please feel free to do so. And it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching, and may death come swiftly to your enemies. Au revoir.